Hi, and welcome back to GalaxyPhi Math. So today we're going to be talking about value word problems. So when we have two independent equations and we have two variables or unknowns, we're able to either then solve the system by substitution or elimination. Okay, so say you're at a concert, or rather, say your whole entire extended family wants to go to a concert. And the family is made up of adults and, say, college-age teenage kids. Well, there are expensive tickets that are about $800 a pop, and then there are the cheaper tickets, which are about $65 a ticket. So our college age, high school age kids are probably going to want to go for the cheaper tickets, and say the adults want to splurge on some really nice seats. That is where our problem starts. So we have concert tickets at a popular amphitheater, and they cost $65 each for the cheaper tickets. And they're going to cost $800 a ticket for the more expensive seats. And so this large family, this large extended family who's a little bit older, wants to go, and the kids decide, okay, well, we need to save our money, so we're gonna spend less money. The adults say, hey, let's, YOLO, right? We're going to go for it and we're gonna splurge on those expensive concert tickets. Okay. And then, so the total amount of people in this whole group is going to be, say, 26 people. And the total that this family spent on this excursion is $10,510 altogether. So how many kids attended the concert and how many adults? And by kids, I do mean teenage, college-age students that bought the cheaper seats specifically. So we're going to use elimination to solve this first one. Okay, so first we need to think about, we have the cheap tickets and we have the expensive tickets, and we need to figure out how many tickets of each are going to be bought. So this is just a pure example of how many. So the total number would be the same as the total number of people in the family, which is 26. And then each ticket is going to be multiplied by the cost of that ticket, because you have the total cost times the total number of tickets, and that will give you the total cost for that ticket for the family. So we know that the total spent is $10,510. So we are able to write a second equation with that information. Now we are going to solve by elimination. And when we solve by elimination, we're going to find the easiest thing to multiply through to cancel out at least one of the terms with the variable. So in this case, negative 65 would be the easiest, and we multiply all the way through by negative 65. Okay, so now we multiplied through that top equation by negative 65, and we end up with negative 65 times the cheap seats, and then negative 65 times the expensive seats. And then we have negative 65 times 26 on the other side of the equation. Well, so the cheap seats cancel out because you have negative 65 and then 65. So those cancel out. And then we just combine the negative 65 expensive tickets to the 800 expensive tickets. And then we're going to combine our negative 65 times 26, which ends up being negative 1,690, and then add that to the 10,510, and we get 8,820 total. So So then we divide both sides by 735 and we end up with 12 of the expensive tickets. And since we know that the expensive tickets plus the number of cheap tickets is 26, we can then figure out the number of cheap tickets, which would be 26 minus 12. And that will give us 14. So now we know that there were 14 of the older kids and 12 adults that went to the concert. Okay, so now we have a retail store that wants to sell cocktail jewelry at the counter, and they have some stud earrings and they have some little dangle drop earrings, and they sell the stud earrings for $85 and the drop earrings for $125. And we know that the shop took in about $2,945 in earring sales and sold 5 less of the drop earrings than the stud earrings. So the first thing we want to do is kind of counterintuitive, and I wouldn't normally tell you to do this, but it's really the only way I know to keep it straight. We're going to pretend that the studs equal the drop earrings as far as the number, and we translate 5 less drop earrings into 5 more stud earrings. They mean the same thing, but I like to deal with more. It just makes more sense to me. So in order to equal the number of stud earrings, you're going to have to add 5 to the number of drop earrings. And so that's the only way I know to get it right, because sometimes we tend to get it backwards, especially on standardized tests, and you're in a rush. But really take the time to do this, write it down, pretend that they're equal, and figure out what you have to add to one side to really equal the other. So if there's 5 more stud earrings, you're going to have to add 5 to the drop earring side in order for them to actually technically be equal. All right, so we know that the stud earrings cost $85 and the drop earrings cost $125. So 85 times the number of stud earrings plus 125 times the number of drop earrings is going to give you the total amount that was earned by the shop, which was given to us in the problem. And that is $2,945. So we have our 2 independent equations here, and we have our 2 unknowns, our stud, S is stud, and D stands for drop. Okay. Now we're going to plug in, because we're using substitution, we're going to plug in D plus 5 for S. So we have 85 times D plus 5 plus 125D equals 2,945. So when we distribute the 85, we get 85D plus 425 plus 125D equals 2,945. So then when we combine like terms, we get 210D. So we have 425 plus 210D equals 2,945. And we subtract both sides by 425 to get 210D equals 2,520. And then we divide both sides by 210 and end up with D equals 12, or the number of drop earrings as 12. And we know that the stud earrings, they're going to be 5 more than the drop, so we add 5 to that number to get 17, which is the number of stud earrings. And when you take those last 2 equations and you look at it in the final answer, and then read back through your paragraph, it really helps you check and see if you're right, because 17 is clearly 5 more than 12, and 12 is clearly 5 less than 17. So as long as you double check that, I think you will be golden. Thank you again for watching GalaxyPhi Math. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share to anyone who might need some extra algebra instruction or help. And please don't forget to comment and let me know what problems are giving you trouble and if you need any extra instruction on any particular concepts or problems. Thank you again for watching.